to be passed around so bad, but my boyfriend just wants a monogamous relationship. It's 2024. Expecting to be with one person for your entire life is like unreasonable. I'm a young 18-year-old Latina. I'm trying to get my face blasted by multiple men. Like, I haven't even had a quickie in a bathroom stall. I have so much to live for. And you're telling me that I have to stay with this one guy because I love him so much. But there's literally guys out there with 13-inch meats waiting to destroy me. It would just be so unfortunate if I were to go my whole entire life without getting piped by at least 100 different people just to see who I like the most.
Happened to men being the pursuers.
Y'all asked for the sequel, so here it is. Why Men Aren't Pursuing Women, Part 2.
But women are the prize because women, they got a pussy, you know what I mean? Pussy makes the world go around.
A compliment from a man means literally nothing, but a compliment from a woman, now that's something.
I'm taken, and I still love to go shake my ass at a bar with my friends. So
I hate the attention, but then when I feel unattractive and I don't get the attention, it's like, I don't love that either.
So, I'm gonna say men are down here and women are up here.
Okay, so are women equal to men or are women superior to men?
For sure, superior.
Okay. When it comes to dating and relationships, who is typically seen as the prize, the man or the woman?
Bitch. Yeah, the woman.
Okay, so if the woman is the prize, why even bother going out with a man in the first place?
I don't know.
That's a great question.
Ladies, if he says he's got no hoes, that means nobody wants him, so you shouldn't either.
Men think that they are the shit. Why do men think that they have to take money, or why do men think that women have to do cooking, cleaning, all that stuff, and all they do is go to work?
We control the world.
Okay. So if women control the world, why do so many people think it's a man's world? How likely are women willing to accept men for just the way they are?
Not very likely.
We want things, and we're not going to tell you what we want.
Why would you do that?
Because for the sake of being complicated.
So, like, what kind of effort do you make? What do you do?
I mean, obviously, if I like someone and I know I'm going to be seeing them, then I'll, like, put my makeup on, do my hair better than normal.
50% of adults in the United States are single. I wonder why that is.
There are a lot of cool men out here. I love the president. Let's give it up for the brothers. There's a lot of cool men out here. For the men out here. I love the president's speech saying you're looking at a feminist. What can men do leaving here? Be better. Be better at everything.
Men are taught that they have to make women happy. The fact of the matter is, you can't make anybody happy. You have to make yourself happy. Happiness is a byproduct of achievement. So for women to say that they're unhappy, it's their own fault. Anybody who says he's unhappy, it's his own fault. Everybody has to make himself or herself happy.
You're giving me such a bloody headache. Yeah, I mean, where are you from? Where are you from? Dear Lord, I would never in a million years teach my girls that they have to grow up to be reliant on a man, as you can well imagine. I would never teach my son that he should be attracted.
But Tracy, you're the same one. You're the same one who brags that she's so strong and so tough and doesn't need a man's money. Yet you're taking alimony.
City boy, city boy.
Got him. We fucking got him.
That's where it's the goat. The goat.
Welcome, my friends. My name is Antoine Phoenix, and this is my RP experience. Peace and love to all my brothers and sisters. Thank you for hitting the like button, subscribing, sharing, and turn on all notifications so you know when I have a whole new video up. Today's video is going to be, and I wasn't sure if I was going to live stream this or either just do a straight video. But yes, I just went with the live stream. I haven't did one in a while, and I may not be doing one in a while because my life is about to get a little hectic. And I know a lot of times when I do a live stream, a lot of people may not even be on because I'll set it for 12 and then I will just do it right at like now or something. So when opportunity presents itself, because life is funny, you don't know what's going to happen in the next few minutes. So I decided to take this opportunity to do this now. So today's video is how MTR has been listed on Homeland Security page as a male supremacists. And I know most of the RP guys that get most of the spotlight, most of the fame, most of the shine are the most toxic ones. Now, I do have to admit they were needed because those was the only ones that shed light on the issues that men were having. The only thing is that a lot of them have skeletons in their closet. I recently did a video on how Walter got this woman pregnant. He had text messages saying that he didn't want the baby. He don't want to be with her. The relationship is over. And the way it played out is she came off as the complete victim. Now, even though she chose wrongly and he chose wrongly in this situation, he did come off a little bit more being the bad guy, just because it seemed like she was trying to pour her heart out to him, and he was just deflecting and being like, hey, you were just a booty call or something. So don't know what happened off the text messages and recordings, but going by what was saying, well, what was said, yes, that made those guys on that, well, the Fresh and Fit podcast look pretty petty and childish as they teased about the single mom thing and all of the other things. I don't really watch Fresh and Fit like that, but some of their videos, especially the one when they were talking to a panel of women, and a lot of their clips I have seen. And I do like what they did with exposing women's behavior. The only thing is they do expose men's behavior as well, which is the bad thing. So but getting back, this is mostly about MTR, but they are on that Homeland Security list as well. So, and it's funny that women don't have a list because lots of them that have like a large following also say stuff about men. But the only difference, I will say, the danger that I will admit, and that's why I try to be balanced with my content. Also, I try to be real with myself. And I have issues with women, but mostly I like who they are. Mostly, especially as friends. It's just when you get into that sticky situation of getting married to them, especially having kids with them, that relationship can take on a totally different energy because they will have more leverage, and not all of them will behave good when the seesaw starts tilting too much their way. So let's get down to it. Let me add this. Hold on, give me a second. I hope something don't happen because I might have somebody come early and I might have to cut this stream short. So hopefully I can continue. So let's start. Oof.
How did we get here, MTR? That's a serious question. How did you go from me watching you with 10,000 subscribers having intellectual conversations with our woman to you being number 2 on the male supremacy list? Let's talk about it. Do I think you belong on this list? Honestly, unbiased opinion? You personally? No, especially not number 2. But according to this study, your audience does. Hell, I just watched LTTV break down a 3-hour stream of Fresh and Fit, calling women to their face bitches.
You see yourself as a high-value man, correct?
No.
Okay, so why are you talking about what men want, high-value men?
Being sarcastic. Being sarcastic.
So what's so high-value about you?
I'm not going to tell myself that. I'm not going to.
What can you pitch
if you
to
see
everyone
that,
watching
see me that way,
that
but that's
shows
fine.
that you're high-value?
Picture on my podcast. Are you fucking stupid? Like, yo, this is crazy.
Baby, let's
this
check.
Is crazy.
Did I ask to be here or was I invited here?
This is narcissist.
And that was Myron being nice.
You guys seriously picked the wrong one, you stupid bitches. Get the fuck out of my shit. Fuck out of here.
Yo, she got no ass, bro.
She got no ass. You're a fucking embarrassment. I can't believe you're even fucking married, you fucking look here, bro. You 300-pound piece of fucking shit. How does he smell? You taco eating fucking slut. Get the fuck out of here. You're an embarrassment.
Okay, let me jump in right there. Now, see, that's the stuff right there that make all of us men in the man space look bad, because the leaders of the man space behave like this. Now, however, when you're showing videos like this, I always like to see the full context of how it led up to that moment. Now, the one where the man, when Myron and that black woman was having a conversation, I didn't see her acting unruly, but then he just went to 0 to 100. But it was a clip in there, but he did start getting aggressive. Now, at the same time saying this, these women keep coming onto his podcast. It's like the same thing with Kevin Samuels. Like, they can say that the men are behaving this type of way, even with P. Diddy. Even though of the video that P. Diddy did, I bet you he can still get a girl. He can still get a girlfriend, even though they saw that toxic behavior. There will still be women, and everything that's going on in his life right now, there will still be a woman that, or plenty of women that will get with him even on the down low, just because he has status, popularity. It seems even if it's negative popularity, if a lot of people is paying attention to you, you will catch a lot of women's attention. So let him continue. He's not wrong in this particular thing right there. It's just that the women are also responsible. Women made that podcast right there. Of course, Myron brought them on, but is the women coming on there? Is the sea of women constantly coming on there? And even though they're getting kicked off, it will always be a line of women that will come back. And at the same thing, even though there are women that will be talking down to men, like it could be a Twitch streamer or something, called because there's one, I can't think of her name right now, but she will straight berate a dude, tell him he's ugly, he's boring, but she will always have a line of guys that will come and talk on her podcast. And she usually does like a mini date thing. So let's get back. Give me a second. And we're back.
You fucking dumb bitch. Get the fuck up out of here, man. Like, bro, these bitches got me fucked up.
Emotional, triggered, snowflake. Is this masculinity? Is this high value? No. And then there's this.
Like, that was some straight up nigger activity right there. Like, straight up, that was some nigger activity that these bitches displayed. And the thing is, yeah, I did, bitch. Anyway, like I was saying, the problem is this. Like, you guys want to sit here and be like, oh, well, that's fucked up, blah, blah, blah. We just got to call a spade a spade. The black community is fucking stupid. They do dumb shit, and they highlight, who did she reference when she said her to substantiate? Cardi fucking. That's a fucking embarrassment.
Wait, are you black? I want to know your race, because you could be Dominican. I don't know. That we in Miami. I'm asking. I don't know.
Let's assume I'm not black. Does it matter if I have valid criticism of the black community?
I'm just asking you a question.
No.
Question. I can't ask you.
He refuses to answer the goddamn question every time they ask if he's black.
No, sure you can. But let's say I was white.
I really want to know.
Let's say I identify as white. Let's say I identify as white, right? Mm-hmm. If I have valid criticism of the black community, like the behavior we just saw,
and that's fine.
Does it matter if I'm white or black or Chinese?
It don't matter. I just.
Well, you also sat up here and said nigger with the hard R twice. So if you were white,
and that's why they're demonetized.
And that's exactly why I do not use that word. I know a lot of my people use that kind of word, but that's the thing. Look, that's a word. It depends how you use it. You can use it as my ninja, my pal, or that ninja is trifling. I hate words that you can use, have double meanings. And also the whole history of the word period, even though we added an A onto the thing. but a lot of us use that word, and therefore some of us that's either half or another culture will use the word. A lot of times they'll use it in the negative term, and it's just a whole different cycle with that particular thing right there. But see, I understand, like watching this right here, this is why a lot of people have bad feelings about Fresh and Fit. Once again, I try to separate the message from the person most of the time, or either I would just take that part of the message. Like, for example, let's say it's somebody that we have two different religions. Okay, let's say it's a Satanist and I'm like Christian. And of course, though, I'm one of those people like, as long as you're not hurting people or trying to impose your beliefs onto me or something like that, live your life. But even though I disagree with what that person believes in, if they say the sky is blue and I look up and see like the sky is blue, I have to agree with them. The sky is blue. And that also goes with certain other things, even though somebody I might even dislike or either may have a difference of opinion with. If they say something that I have to admit that is true or is basically true, that's how I logically look at it right there. So okay.
And afraid to come outside. Anyways, MTR, how did you end up on this list? And is it accurate? Unfortunately, in my opinion, yeah, I can see how it is. I skimmed through this 55-page report, which is the pinned comment for those who want to read it. And for those who don't, I'll explain later how they came up with this list. And based on your content, if I had to guess, unbiased opinion, I'd say it's accurate. See, MTR, you started out giving reviews. Most people didn't even know that. My guy thought he was going to become the next Marquez Brownlee, reviewing cameras and stuff. And pause, you need to delete this video, bro. How to get more meat for free at Chipotle. But then you went into having conversations with women, where in my opinion was where you were thriving, giving a male's perspective, but also letting your audience hear a woman's perspective as well. You were actually at the table with women having meaningful conversations.
What up, YouTube? I am your host, Mediocre Tutorials and Reviews, back in here with yet one more video.
And these women weren't sleazy women like the ones on Fresh and Fit. You could tell they actually had some sense when they talked.
You know, initially a woman is going to be the one that's kind of like, I want to settle down, you know, but I do think that at a point in time, a man's going to be like, man, I don't want her to be like, you know, I'm kind of might feel away if she is to leave me or were to leave me and maybe entertain somebody else, because the energy that she's giving me is beneficial to me.
You dropped some bars and they would drop some bars too. It was authentic and real. You even had situations where we could see you really cared about women.
How we met, so I get into that. So a couple of months ago, I met you at a party.
Resume.
And then we just started talking about how the conversation.
All right, let me stop right there. Okay, yes, I remember when MTR used to have those videos. That's when I watched most of your content, buddy. But I have to admit, at that time when I had discovered MTR, he was around that 50,000 mark then. But now he's at almost a million subscribers. Yeah, so when I came across MTR at that time, I was like, okay. Yeah, I like that interaction between the male and female. It was it was not an argumentative thing, how it was usually on Kevin Samuel's show. And of course, Fresh and Fit had the women that they had on here. But once again, I say every voice was valid, because Kevin Samuels was showing you a different type of woman. Fresh and Fit was showing you a different type of woman. And then MTR, which you should have kept doing that, you were showing the common women that most of us come across. And this is where I believe this is the majority of women, that they are like in between. They can go good or bad. And that's why usually I go by a woman's friends, because depending on her friends is which way she's going to go. So those women that he had on there, they may have friends that may be on a Kevin Samuels show, or they may have friends that may be on a Fresh and Fit show. So depending on her friends is how I will evaluate how she is really, because I believe a lot of times women put on the front, especially certain nationalities of women. Some women are more honest, like sometimes I have issues dating black women, but I will admit they are the most honest women. Usually what you see is what you get with them. Some of the other ones, they will put on a mask. Not to say a lot of women don't put on masks, but they'll put on a mask. And then when you get to know them, or once you have a baby or you get married, that's when you see the real them, even though you will see glitches. So let me get back. I just wanted to add that part right there.
Why did it cease? Having a couple of text conversations with Kelly, I immediately identified that she is a relationship person. You could tell, I could just tell by your word choice. Like you try to find like one of these eventually. That is one of your goals.
Absolutely,
of
yes.
Being able to do that. So I recognized that early, and what I said to myself is, well, I'm not going to, being someone who's pretty busy, and I have all of this, there's only 24 hours in a day.
Yeah.
Do I want to spend time in getting to know someone that I know has a different goal in mind?
Yeah.
Because my goal right now is to not get into a relationship. I have other things on my plate that I'm trying to accomplish before I consider kind of more long-term things.
Sure.
Did I paint that picture?
Yeah, you painted very accurately.
And that's respectable. You didn't waste her time. And more importantly, you didn't waste yours. So where did you go left? Honestly, I guess from the start, because you only always reacted to red pill content.
Look at me. I'm doing good for myself. Look at my car. Look at my body. Shit, I'm doing good for myself. I ain't got to kiss your ass. So you're going to naturally be in an arrogant state.
And once the Rona hit, you stopped doing reactions with women as much and started working alone. And I knew you started going too far red. When you said every man should go through red pill rage, I was like, bro is bugging.
Me overcoming my red pill rage when I lived a life behind rose-colored glasses, and then I had the rug ripped from out of me, and the rage that I felt when understanding, like, oh, people are not as truthful as me. Like, I did it, and it hit me like a ton of bricks. I'm just like, wait a minute, people lie like that? Like, it blew my mind. It absolutely blew my mind. But that rage that I felt, right, without understanding the benefits of therapy at the time, that rage that I felt when I was just like, wait a minute, how much of this has been a lie throughout my life? I felt, and I still think that it's necessary for men to go through. Now, what I don't think is necessary is to stay there.
I don't think men should go through a red pill rage phase if they can help it. Yeah, it's important to learn about female nature, but would you rather learn about it by going through a rage phase, or would you rather they have fun learning about it through a hoe phase?
I'm a slut. What's up? Get me lit.
See, I believe every man should go through a hoe phase before they enter a serious relationship.
Nope. Now, I don't agree with that. Don't agree with that. And okay, yes. So I don't agree with every man or woman should go through that whole phase. Now, what I do think is you should get out of the house and interact with the other gender. This is why I will say that men and women can be friends, because I do have women that are associate friends. I just don't have women that are like, this is my bestie and we're always hanging together. Because I always look at the big picture and think forward. If I have this woman that I'm doing a bunch of things with and we're always hanging out, I always believe somebody's going to like somebody. Most of the time, I'm probably going to like her, but it could be a case that she likes me. And then what happens when I get into a relationship. Now, it may not change if she gets into a relationship, because women, most of the time, when they get into a relationship, unless if there are those women that try to lock a dude down and forget all of her friends, which, you know, I don't think that's healthy, but a lot of times they will take in, become, okay, wait a minute, how is I'm going to say this? She will put all her energy into that man until she feel like she definitely has him. And then she'll start inching out, being back into like the social life. I don't know. That's a strategy that I know a lot of white women will do when they are dating a guy they really like. Anyway, when a man and a woman starts to interact with each other, and I was starting to forget what the hell I was going to say. So, okay, basically, when she's in a relationship, she'll keep that guy that she's getting all those good times with, and she's not getting from her boyfriend. She'll keep technically using that guy as a filler for that particular thing. Women will usually pull that off. Men, though, either they'll stay stuck in that kind of friend zone thing, trying to wait. And actually, I'm going to do a video on situationships. They'll try to wait to see if she breaks up with her man, or that she'll realize that those two are meant for each other, or that man will get a woman, which a lot of times I seem to get women that are somewhat jealous. They will say, hey, I don't want you hanging out with her. Or if they're smart, they won't say that. They'll just try to make sure they're spending more time with me, or doing things that I used to do with that girl. They'll do it instead, or something like, hey, well, me and Jenny is going fishing. Hey, I like fishing. I'll go fishing too. Now, maybe that's a smart way to do it, where men should maybe try to implement that. Or either sometimes they'll straight outright say like, hey, I don't like her, unfriend her or something. And I know some guy friends that when they had a new girlfriend, if they didn't like one of his female friends, they would make him straight stop talking to that woman. Okay, I would like to see exactly what happened if that woman disrespected the relationship. But a lot of times I think it's a double standard thing of like, she wants to keep all her friends, but she wants him to lose all his friends that she consider could be a threat. So I just wanted to add that right there. You don't have to be sleeping with a bunch of women to get that kind of interaction of how a woman will be, but you do need to have some light friendships, or just be around women to see how they operate in the wild, and observe how they are treating their men or something. Unless if you totally different from that dude, don't think she won't do the same thing to you that she's doing to him, especially if you guys are similar. So yeah, I disagree with the whole phase thing. I think he does change the thing right there. Oh, and plus another thing with the whole phase, I think you get conditioned to doing that. So let's say I was sleeping with a whole bunch of women, and then I meet the perfect woman for me. But I'm still used to messing with a whole bunch of women. You think you're just going to stop just because you meet the person? Even though you may love the person, you may be able to do it for a while. But if that has become a habit of yours, the only way I think you could stop, if you are conditioned to be sleeping with a whole bunch of people, you have to cut certain things out. If you meet those people at like bars, clubs, hanging out with your friends, going to certain locations, you have to cut all of that out. And then you probably could stop doing that. But a lot of people is not going to do that because they have friends that will be like, hey, you got to live your life or something. Don't do things that will endanger your relationship. Okay, so no on the whole phase. And let's get back.
because that's the only way to learn how to vet a woman. I learned about female nature through the whole phase. Dating married women, girls with boyfriends, strippers, all of that taught me how to vet a woman. And it taught me about female nature without me going through the red pill rage phase. So I never disliked women. And maturity is me admitting that I no longer think men should go through a whole phase. You see, I'm growing as well. And as I've watched my parents get older, I've realized there were tons of more important things I could have done with my time instead of sleeping with women. I could have spent more time with my parents, my brothers, my sisters, people that mattered. I could have worked on my purpose and achieved my dream job 5 years earlier. I could have been the first or youngest black man to do a few things, but I traded that all in to be a hoe. You idiot! So no, you don't need to go through a hoe phase or red pill rage to learn about human nature, because you don't need to just learn about female nature. You need.
Oh, one more thing. Okay, for me, and I think I did go through a thing of red pill rage, but not exactly, because I didn't go through a thing like, okay, I think after my last breakup, well, yeah, with that I was really seriously hurt over. With that one right there, and I looked at all my relationships and I started paying attention to everything that was going on in other people's lives. And then I started coming across these videos right there. And then, yeah, I did get a red pill rage thing silently. Like, because I had a lot of female associates. I didn't share that information with them, but I really started to not really trust women in a relationship, because it was too many things that I was seeing them do and things that was done to me that it's kind of like, wow, I don't like. Okay, for example, a big red flag for me and almost a deal breaker is a woman telling other people our business, especially other men. I can somewhat take her telling her friends or family our business. Well, like female friends and male family is like different, but the only thing with that is I have to look at her friends, because if I don't like her friends too much, or she is bad choice of character with the people that surround her, even though me and her get along fine, if she's telling them our business, I already know they are going to put seeds of doubt or negative thoughts in her head. So I gotta go by her friends. So for me, I did have red pill rage thing, but it wasn't a thing of like, oh, I hate all women. Is the thing was like, damn, a lot of women think like this. You know what? I don't know if I can really trust them to not do these certain things that in all my other relationships, I was letting go. I was like, I don't care about that. But those things will always come back to fuck me over or to kick me in the ass, okay, or bite me in the ass. So this is why I try to tell men now, especially the younger men, to don't do that. So let's get back.
Need to understand human nature, because a woman may cheat on you or take half your shit, but hang with the wrong friend, man or woman, and you can end up deleted or in jail. So like I said, I skimmed through this report, but here's the part I believe explains how they came up with the list. The researcher who made this report ran YouTube ads on all these creators' channels. I own a business and I've run YouTube ads. I've even run them for this channel. And when I was trying to get this channel started, I ran ads on it to get my first 1,000 subscribers.
You're sitting on the couch, you're watching TV, and your life is passing you by.
Well, maybe I'll get a girl next month. Well, maybe I'll get a girl next year. No, do it right now. I'll work with you before work and after work. We can do whatever you need to get these girls.
Go talk to somebody right now. They out to help you. You spend all day on the phone anyhow. Why don't you make a phone call that's going to help you in your future?
That was cringe as fuck, but my day ones have seen that ad before. But I took that ad and ran that on AMS's channel, MTR's, O'Shea Du Jacksons, and a couple other black creators. If you were black and had an audience and I watched you, I put some change in your pocket. So you're welcome. And that's what these reporters did. They had 2 YouTube channels called Man Enough and Man Therapy. And they ran those YouTube ads that you guys skip on YouTube videos. They put them on all these content creators' channels on the list and collected statistical data to determine the ranking. They had a scale, which even MTR talked about.
But what they did is that they utilized a research technique, which is referred to as a 7-point Likert scale from strongly disagree to agree, where they asked participants to rate the content that they were looking at from what they've already predetermined to be correct, that anti-feminism is wrong. And if you rate them high, then they are a male supremacist. But what I found very interesting is that I have never seen a research study where they don't talk about the audience that they surveyed. Who took the damn surveys? Were the people that took it biased in nature? Was this a Likert scale giving to the authors and the researchers and the editors that created this case study? Great job conducting due diligence in your case studies, guys. You really did everything that you could have to remain unbiased. But if you got...
Bro, your audience took the survey. They ran a video ad on your YouTube channel that had a high view rate, which means a lot of your subscribers were interested. That ad took your subscribers to a website that conducted a survey. When I use YouTube ads for my business, I put them on my competitors' channels and search terms. And then the link I use takes you to my business website. Like I said earlier, I ran ads on MTR and other creators, and the link you could click on was my channel. So it's MTR subscribers for sure. And this is the survey they took.
You guys want to see exactly what those categories and subcategories are, then here they are. And I will go over some of these just for the sake of time. But the first one at the top of anti-feminism, feminism is about hating men. I've never said this statement.
You guys can read this, but I can 100% see why MTR's audience would agree with these statements. Stuff like number 6, if a man commits to a woman in a romantic relationship, she gets the upper hand. Or number 8, men in romantic relationships need to be consistently on guard for cheating. Bro, that's all you react to. Content on women cheating and ruining men's lives. And the sad part is, in your effort to try to inform men, you've made men afraid of women. They don't trust women, and that's partly because of the content they watch, which includes your content.
This is confirmation bias at its finest. Whereas a solution-based video such as 50 choosing signals showing she likes you gets half as many views. Because many guys read that and think, oh, 50 choosing signals. That sounds like a lot of information to remember. I just want to chill out and relax, binge some dopamine, not actually put effort into improving my life. So I think I'll watch a video on why men should walk away from dating instead.
So I think you being on the list is unfortunately accurate. Now, are you a male supremacist? No, I don't think so. But the content you're spreading kinda is. The sad part is you don't even realize it. Just like Sneeko.
What did you say? Fuck the woman! Fuck the woman! What?
No, wait. You love women. You love women. You love women.
What? Not like transgender.
Yes, sir. You love everybody? No.
Okay,
Yeah, fuck it. Yeah, Mark. Reach. What have I done?
Sneeko had no idea the divisiveness he was.
All right, this right here I agree with, and this is why I'm take a balance thing. Now I do react to a lot of the same videos, women ruining men's lives, and but then I always try to throw something in there that it is, and actually one of my next video is going to be about there are good women out there. See, now this is the thing. I'm not saying there's not good women. It's just that as men, okay, and for the guy that's covering this video, all you guys are concerned about is getting the cat. All y'all do is choosing signals and how to impress her and how to talk and how to have swag and stuff like that. Do any of you talk about how to maintain the relationship? Okay. and maybe probably delve more into what kind of women to avoid. No, it's all about getting the 10, the choosing signals, just improve on myself and not worry about her faults and stuff. And even though you're not really talking about it, is almost like we don't supposed to pick on looks. We don't supposed to pick on if the woman can cook. We don't supposed to. It's too many things that is pushed out. Which some things I understand because women have like body anxiety and even age anxiety stuff. So I do, and that's why I don't never push that type of stuff on here. Now I do say you should be attracted to the woman. But if you're attracted to a woman that's like a little heavier or either like older or something, I'm all about the connection, but it has to be attraction there. And only because I had sour taste with a woman that was heavier, I probably would not go for a woman that is heavier. But I don't have this thing like she has to weigh 110 pounds or something, because I've seen women that wears 120 to 130 pounds really well. Does depend on their height. And it's the same thing with a woman's age. There are women that's beautiful that's like 30 or 40. And it's not just women that's like early 20s or something like that. But see, every man is different. But I do understand that certain men pushing a certain narrative will be very influenced to men that are young. And that's the thing right there. I don't know if I will get a lot of people looking at some of my videos just because I'm not always saying something controversial. And that's the thing too, which none of you that be criticizing either red pill people or even the women that are toxic feminists. People tend to do what they find gets them viral. If they have to make fun of people, if they have to say anything, a lot of them will do for clicks. Me, I try to keep that integrity thing, but it's not. Somebody always calls when I'm talking. Okay. I always try to be true to myself. And as I say, I always live that thing of like, if I'm on the other side watching a video, I would not want somebody saying that to me. If I was a woman or if I was a kid or something, how would I react to this? And I'm thinking about all those people when I'm talking. Now, sometimes I don't give a fuck, especially when it's something I'm passionate about or something, but that right there. And as for feminism, again, it is negative. See, it's like the same thing with this red pill stuff. It had to happen because women was getting too out of control. The Johnny Depp thing and quite a few, and still the thing that women can come on TV saying anything about men. That's still an imbalance right there. Okay? Even though, truthfully, I don't think men should be able to just say stuff about women neither. But both of us need to be held to the same standard if we want to be truly equal. Or is it more superiority or something? So me, I believe feminism was needed, which I know a lot of men will disagree with that, but those men in the past was getting out of control to an extent that the women had to do something the same way that we are reacting now. That's the way that I look at it. Now, do a lot of women take feminism to a negative direction and paint all men as being bad or less, or they are superior to them? That's why I shared that video in the very beginning of the thing when these guys are doing street interviews, because a lot of these women are being honest. They're not saying that the nice thing of like, oh, we're all equal or something, but deep down inside they feel the opposite way. And this is the thing right now. I prefer women and men to be honest and for people to take what they're seeing as true. do not pick those types of people. We're living in a good age right now that when a person is saying something or giving you a certain persona of how they are, take that seriously. That is who they are. Instead of the people that are not doing that and they giving you like a fake facade, or they acting like they perfect and they have nothing wrong. That's another red flag that I will say. If you're talking to a woman as a man, if you ask her, what would you say is your most negative trait? And they say, oh no, I have nothing negative with me. Red flag, because everybody has something. Everybody has something, which I can be honest and say that I can be petty. I'm working on that, but I can be petty. So let's continue. I'm probably going to cut this off soon. I'm running out of time.
Spreading. And you don't either. And you're so unaware because the sad part about it is you're the best on this list.
Here's the one thing that MTR has that many of us don't have in Black YouTube. Because of his ability and talent, he has a diverse base. What that means is because of the kind of content that he makes and his relatability, more people worldwide watch, just like Alba and Preach. There are also Black creators, but they have an international, multicultural reach.
Exactly, O'Shea. And unfortunately for you, MTR, you are probably the closest thing to in the middle that the red pill has. Now, you still on the red pill side, but to me, you don't come off as hating women like a Fresher Fit or Just Pearly Things. And honestly, most men believe Pearls is a grifter, and when it comes to Fresh and Fit, it's pure entertainment for their audience. Jerry Springer vibes. So I don't think anyone takes them seriously. They simply come for the kick-out camps and to subscribe to the OnlyFans girls after they get kicked out. But you, MTR, you're looked at as the more logical uncle. And I think these incels take you a little more serious. And like I said before, your channel only shows the negative things women do, which is why your content is turning a percentage of your audience into male supremacists.
Because look at your behavior. That's the problem with all these folks. This is why Mediocre Tutorials and Reviews was baffled when he found himself on this list. He's like, oh my God, me 92% male supremacy scale metric. These guys have no self-awareness. They want to point out everybody else, but they don't understand what the fuck they're doing on this platform. This nigga was surprised by this. I've been saying it the whole goddamn time. All you do is have male slanted content. Even during his video where he was devastated that he was on this list and they're coming for his content, all it could be demonetized and all this shit. He's like, oh, but the women on The View do it, comparing himself to women.
So there's this clip going viral online of a dozen women being asked the following question: do we need men? Most answered very quickly, no. And only one said she thought women needed a man in their lives, only one. But when...
Oh, you called me?